Hey everyone, it's Lauren. This video is your guys' precursor homework to Basic Intuitive Skills Part 2. So hopefully by now you've gone through the whole Basic Intuitive Skills Part 1 course, done the homework, done the practice, and checked out some of my additional videos on removing blocks and setting your boundaries. So if you haven't yet, I highly recommend going back and doing so, because you know, your psychic ability is only as strong as how much you practice. And so I know it's easy to just get eager and want to move forward, but because these are online videos and not like in-person classes, and I can't force you to do that work, you really have to step up and make sure that you do that practice. Now, don't forget we have the Facebook group, so if you're looking for practice, looking for people to read, go ahead and join that, because it'll be very helpful for getting that practice in that you need. Awesome. So for your guys' precursor homework, you know, maybe you're not ready to purchase the second series yet, or maybe it's not out yet for some of those of you that are waiting for me to finish them. What I want you guys to do is just practice these techniques. Go over all of the previous videos, you know, rewatch anything that you get stuck on, and really just make sure you know the content, because the whole next series is just going to be so much information, and you're going to want to make sure that you know your boundaries, you know how to remove blocks and take care of yourself before doing any sort of psychic work. Now, all of these homework pieces that I'm giving you, kind of the purpose behind them is to start getting familiar with becoming present. Now, I'll talk about this a lot more in the next series, but it's very important that before a reading that you are here and you are able to receive information. You know, if you're thinking about you know, your grocery list or the things that you have to get to next on your to-do list, you know, you're not really present. And, you know, we need to be able to be present like that, especially if you're reading for somebody else. You've got to be able to get into that zone like that. We don't have 10 minutes to sit there in front of our client and, you know, take a meditation while they just sit there and watch us. So we have to get familiar with what it's like to be present, to be in the moment, so that when it is called for, we can get there quick. And I promise you guys that the more you practice, the quicker it'll be to get into that present state. So the first fun little exercise I'm going to have you guys do is called the rocking chair meditation. Now, this is something that I got from the Aspen program. I absolutely loved it. Now, obviously, this requires you to have a rocking chair or maybe some sort of swingy chair. I wouldn't do like a spinning chair because you might just get dizzy. But I even have one of those like hanging outdoor kind of seats, and that works well too. Or if you have anything along that lines that you can kind of like, you can push yourself and then you just kind of let yourself sway. And the whole, you know, all I want you to really do with this is start to sway in your chair, in your rocking chair or your outdoor chair, and just get comfortable with feeling the sway, feeling yourself just be. You know, we want to get rid of all thoughts in our mind. We just want to meditate and be in the moment and feel that sway, just focusing on our breathing and doing nothing more. You know, it's super simple, and it's going to be hard at first because it's really hard to just get rid of all of the thoughts in our brain. And, you know, don't beat yourself up when your mind starts to wander. Just bring yourself back to the rocking chair. Continue to just think about what you're doing. Continue to think about the rocking motion. Just focus on your breath. Anytime your mind wanders, just come back to your breath, come back to the rocking, and just get familiar with what it's like to be present. You know, the whole point of this rocking chair meditation is just really to get comfortable with meditating. And if you don't necessarily like this, there are some other ways that I gave on how you can meditate in the additional videos, but I'm going to give you a lot more meditation techniques in the next series, because that's going to be really helpful for learning how to be present. Now, your second pre-homework that I'm going to give you guys is to work with some mala beads. Now, you can go into like some of those like Oriental trading stores. You can get these super cheap. I think this was like less than $5. Or you can get some super fancy ones, and like made out of crystals. The mala beads are about 100. I think they're 108. I should have checked. But there's supposed to be a special number for, you know, if you've checked out the mantra video, you should already know that there's a special number of beads on these, because I guess 108 is the magical number that helps you set your intentions. So I want you to pick up some of this, or you can make one at home for yourself. And you know, this one at the top is the one that you start with, and that's how you also know how to end. And basically you take the first bead and just meditate. Just go one at a time, go to the next bead, and just concentrate. You know, even go ahead and look at them. If you don't like looking at them, you can say a mantra, but we're just learning how to get present. Take your time going through the whole entire mala bead, and just focus on each bead, and don't even like try to think about other things. The whole point is to get present. Again, if thoughts come into your mind, just get rid of them and come back to the mala beads. And this is a very visual way of meditating. So if you find that your mind is wandering a lot during meditation, definitely try the mala beads, because you know, you can just focus. Okay, here's that bead, next bead, next bead, and then just keep going through. And if any thought comes to you, just let it pass and come back to the beads. Now, my third pre-homework for you guys is probably going to be the most challenging if you haven't had a whole lot of practice with meditating. And what I want you to do is just get into a comfortable position, you know, lying down in your bed, sitting on the floor, whatever it is. And you can turn on music if it helps. Find some music that's just very calming, very serene. And I want you to go ahead and just practice breathing with your crown chakra. Now, I talked about the chakras in the removing blocks section, if you want to go through that again. But this chakra is totally related to opening up to intuitive guidance, opening up to that other world of information. So you're just going to meditate, focus on the music. I would challenge you even more and say try not to do it with music. It can be very tough, but if you set a timer on your phone and force yourself to do it for at least like 3, 4, 5 minutes, it can be very helpful. You'll start to realize, hey, I can be present and I don't need a crutch. I don't need music. I don't need a video. I don't need mala beads. I can really focus on my breath and nothing more than that. And so during this meditation, all I want you to do is just put all of your attention up here. So you just want to move all of your thoughts, all of your focus to right here, and opening this chakra up. Now do realize that this is going to open you up intuitively, so make sure you set your boundaries before and after. But I just want you guys to get familiar with meditating without using other like stuff to get you there, because you know, when you're reading somebody else, sometimes you don't have those tools in front of you or the time to do it. So we want to get familiar with what it feels like to be present and how to get there fast. So the more you can meditate before the next course, the better. Awesome, guys. I hope you have a good time with this homework, and I hope to see you in my next course, Basic Intuitive Skills Part 2.